Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to FYI. For your information, I am Gerard Vance joining you this morning, guys. It's Tuesday, the 18th of October, 2022, and we are off with the week. So I hope that all is well at your end. Guys, it is a beautiful morning thus far when it comes to the weather. I hope that it's good weather on your end. I hope that you're doing a great, great job at starting out with optimistic attitudes and all of that. So all the folks that come in and say, oh, they come in with the negativity and all of those things. We're gonna start it off this morning very, very positive. You know how we like to do it here. So good morning to all of you wonderful folks, wherever it is that you're joining us from. Feel welcome. Make sure that you start the morning off by doing your bit to share the stream. We're going to start by that. If you're not sharing, if you have not shared, make sure that you are up and about, you are ready to go, you are sharing. Come on, if you haven't done it yet, do it now and smash those emojis button. However is it that you're feeling, we want to know how you're feeling. Are you happy? Is it a thumbs up? If it's a little hard, are you emotional about something? Are you angry about something? Whatever it is that you're feeling right about now, the only way in which you can communicate that to us is either in the comment section, or the easiest way is just to smash that emoji button and let us go. I hope you had a good day yesterday. I hope all of you have been a little bit more careful than you usually are, and all of those things. And I hope that we are going to be having an excellent discussion today. I'm going to be integrating a lot of your comments, as I always try to do, because that's how this program is. This morning show is about making sure that your views are heard, guys. So as we share to other platforms here, guys, make sure that you do the same as well. I know that we're going to be having some folks coming in, guys, and I have to say to all the folks that's coming in right about now, just join the program. We just went into some new platforms. I have to say welcome to FYI for your information, and I hope that everyone is ready to go with the discussion, ready to get credible information and all the good things, also all the negatives that's in the news. I prefer not to do negatives, but it is what it is. I'm looking at the comment section. I am seeing a couple of you folks already on there, already doing your part, and I'm absolutely happy to have you up and about. Just allow me to pull up my Facebook stream. Just allow me to pull up my Facebook stream a little bit, guys. I am pulling up Facebook. I do not want to lose any bit of the comments that is coming through. I do not want to lose any of that. Just allow me to pull it up, making sure that I get on board with everything that you are saying. Don't be waiting on me. Share. Don't be waiting on me this morning. Make sure that you do your part and share. We have a packed program for you today. I don't know how else I'm going to say that. We have a very packed program. All right, so I'm seeing folks like Beatrice already on, of course. Beatrice and you guys is joining from YouTube. Just give me a minute. Let me deal with the Facebook post. I see Terrell Fraser is on this morning. Hope all is well at your end. I hope you are having a phenomenal day. I see also Wilton Blue says, good morning, beautiful. Good morning to you, Wilton. I hope all is well at your end. Also, I see Emmanuel Duncan is joining us this morning. Good morning to you, Emmanuel. I hope you're having a phenomenal day as well. I hope your morning is off to a good start. I'm seeing Mala Pandey in the house with us. Hey, Mala, good to have you with us. I know that you put special effort into being with us in the morning. Is it a Magnell Barrow? Hey, Magnell, what's going on at your end? I see my colleague, my friend, Natasha Singh Lewis joining us this morning. Says good morning, my love. Natasha, we do it differently. So good morning to you. I hope you are well. I hope everything is okay at your end, you and the girls. I see Ada Beckles is in FYI family. It's a great day, stay blessed. So good morning to you. I see Sharon Alfonso Evans is saying good morning, FYI family. Trinidad is in the house. Drop those locations wherever it is that you're joining from. Let me know. Let me give you a shout out early in the morning. That's how we always do it. Those are signature moves to our program every single morning. We're not going to deviate from that. So make sure you tell us how's the weather. Where are you joining us from? What you're having for breakfast? Those are absolutely necessary. Listen, I don't know what's wrong with Marlon. Yesterday, Marlon was joining me from somebody's living room. Today, Marlon is joining us from Timbuktu. I don't know where Marlon is right about now, but Marlon is hiding. She's in disguise. She's in hiding. I don't know why. Rhonda Tom, good morning to you, Rhonda. I hope all is well at your end. I hope you're having a phenomenal morning like everyone else. I see Aubrey Lennox is saying morning neighbor. Aubrey saying it and he put that over in the most Creole terms that he could find. And we have to embrace ourselves, embrace the language, embrace the Creolese that we were brought up speaking. That's just the Guyanese way of communicating. And I think my brother always says, my brother have this principle that he lives by. He said you need to know Creolese. If you're Guyanese, you need to know Creolese as that's your main language before you move on to learning other language, particularly English language. He's like, no, that's second language. Creolese, that's our main language. So I see you there. Riri Mingo Garwe. Good morning to you, Riri. What's going on at your end, guys? What's going on? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Let me try to just pick your brain a little bit about what's going on at your end. Is there anything in particular that you want us to discuss and all of those things? Let me know there in the comment section. I see Shanika Lewis also is joining us this morning. Good morning to you, Shanika. I hope all is well at your end. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. I see it Gregory Archer. Actually, George Archer is joining us this morning. George says North Carolina is in the house this morning. So good morning to all of you wonderful folks that's joining us from North Carolina, particularly George. It's so good to have you with us this morning. It's a pleasure to have you. Edward Gonzalez is joining us also. Edward joins from the Bronx, and good morning to all of you folks who's joining from the Bronx. I think it's about 5 persons. I am absolutely positive about the joins from the Bronx. So it's absolutely wonderful to have you. I feel blessed that you take the time out to be on this program every single morning. Patricia Asana is in the house this morning, also joining us from Brooklyn. And the Brooklyn family seems to be one that is very wide, and I'm growing large, wide, however you want to put it over. Brooklyn is a solid team when it comes to FYI. Brooklyn is that section of the family that don't sway. So Brooklyn, you got good things coming your way. Don't worry. I see that Aline Griffith, Ines is here with us this morning, and it's so good to have you. It said, Joretta, your morning sunshine. I see Leslie Charles is here this morning. I don't know about the morning sunshine and all that, but I can tell you the place is hot. I don't know what's going on, but Guyana, close to the sun, people. It's close to the sun. I see Terrell Fraser's with us this morning also saying, hi, I am in the train going to work. So let me just pause on that a little bit and say, all the folks that's actually out there, on your way to work, you're driving particularly, be careful. Do not be holding the cell phones in your hand if you're driving. Make sure that you have it mounted safely in the car that you can listen, probably glance over every now and again when it's safe. But be careful out there, guys. We don't want anything happening to any of you. Make sure that you are safe. For those of you who's using public transportations and so, be vigilant. Make sure that your eyes are all over. This is in this day and age, you just expect the unexpected. That's the way in which I have to put it over. Just be safe, be safe, be safe. I cannot stress how much I want you guys to be safe. I see Tessa Waterman is here this morning. Says London in the house. All the folks joining us in London, Tessa Ayabo, and all you wonderful folks, good afternoon to you. I know it's afternoon at your end. Jackie Baird says, I'm here. Good to have you here, Jackie. I'm happy that you're here with us this morning. I see Margaret Nelson is here this morning also. Guys, I see it's 54 degrees there in Brooklyn, says Magnell Barrow. Magnell, I'm not going to lie, listen, whatever's going on over there, I personally prefer the cold. So, and I've been told endless time that I say this on, and I'm going to change my mouth whenever I am placed in the cold and left there for some time. I don't know, but I don't like the heat that much. I like the rain in Guyana. That's my best time because it just cools the place down, and it's just a good atmosphere, good weather, and everything for me all together. Is it Laurel Argyle is on with us? Loretta Argyle. Wow, did I say that completely wrong? Good morning to you, Loretta Argyle. I hope all is well at your end. Faithful ones, you're one of those faithful ones that always comes through. We're so happy that you take that time. I see Stanborn is here. You know, Stanborn come with one word. No matter what Stanborn comments, his first comments always has boom in it. No matter what, he said, take. He says, take a big up, boom, morning all from Brooklyn. So, good morning to you, Stanborn. I try to say that as solid as I possibly can. I know I'm not doing a good job, but I'm trying nevertheless to make sure that I translate your message however is it you need it done. Like I see, said I'm Gwyneth Anderson. You know, Gwyneth pulling with legs this morning. You know, Gwyneth says she's joining from Craig from Craig. Then she put slash Turkey. So I don't know where Gwyneth is joining us from this morning, but Gwyneth, we get you. I see Christy Borrows is on with us this morning. You know, she says it's cold and cloudy in the city. So all the folks that's joining us there from Connecticut, I hope that all you wonderful people are just making sure that you're warm. You know, Guyanese, I don't know how you deal with it. It's like a lot of guys, when you leave here and all this heat, like how I am, and like I gotta be like patting my nose and stuff like that because I'm always so like hot in the morning, especially when you're rushing and stuff like that. I don't know how is it that you just move from this and then you go and you deal with that extreme cold. How do you manage? Let me know. Let me know how do you manage. I don't know if I could deal with the extreme cold. I see Natasha Singh is saying NIS is bankrupt. Natasha, we're dealing with the PPP and the way in which they do business. I'm surprised that the entire country is not bankrupt as yet with that. You know, they do the weirdest things and they don't seem to care much about it. I see Marlon King says, bright and sunny here where I am, and I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to hear that you're having that brightness. Persons are asking about a petition. We're going to update you on that bit. That is due tomorrow, guys. That case is going to be heard. That case is going to be ruled on tomorrow. So just bear with us. You know, if it's there, that's going to be the topic of the day. Let me just put it over like that. All the discussion is going to be surrounding whatever is it that comes out of that. So you don't have to ask, right? We're going to be bringing it to you. Good morning to you, Roxanne Garway, joining us all the way from region number 7. Roxanne, you know that I love when you come onto the program. I know that you put special effort and emphasis into making sure that you have good connectivity to come through to these programs because, you know, Bartica, we suffer. We suffer when it comes to connectivity. I don't know what goes on with the phone lines there and all of those things, but apparently people don't really care that much. I don't think the base in Bartica itself is of the number of persons that live there actually attracts the investment from those large companies. I don't know how else I can say it, but we have to keep pushing. No, Kamal Prasad has been doing a phenomenal job at representing and making sure that she asks for better services to come there. So I'm always happy when you come through because I know that you are putting special effort and emphasis into making sure that you can join the program in the morning. Jackie Baird is joining us from Atlanta, Georgia this morning. Good morning to you, Jackie. What's going on at your end? Let me know how you've been. I hope all is well at your end. I'm feeling like if I'm just not getting with the comments fast enough, you guys just might bear with me a little bit. I see Glenford Gordon is on with us this morning also. Hope all is well at your end. Glenford and Joy Kosha says good morning to the FYI family. Blessings and blessings back to you. I can tell you that. I see him, Leslie Charles says, Rita, you were like a morning sunshine. Oh, thank you so much. You know, I try my best to make sure that I bring pure positive energy. Even when I see the negative comments coming from some people, I'm like, oh my God, not this morning. Like, no, Satan, not today, not today. I just continue the morning with a bright smile on my face, no matter how terrible things may be. You can always just find the strength, the energy, the courage to make sure that you come forward and you project light, you know. We're into the whole time and the season when with Diwali and all of that, and I know it's extremely important to our Hindu friends and family always there. So I have to say that the whole celebration of good over evil, light over darkness, you know, something that we each of us try to portray because we want to be that light in the darkness. There's so much darkness all over. We have to project positivity. We have to project light and optimism. It's absolutely important that you get up in the morning and you choose that. Choose to do good. You know, today as you go out, choose to do good. Choose to do something that is good, something that is kind, something that you wouldn't do every single day. Just go out there and help somebody. It does not necessarily mean you have to help them financially or something physically, whatever. You may help someone by just giving them 2 words of encouragement. Somebody that's miserable in your office, go to work. If you don't usually tell them good morning because they don't answer, listen, this morning you go to work and you say good morning with a bright smile on your face. Like, good morning. I hope you have a great day today. They may be shocked and surprised. There's so many things that we can do to make sure that that the place and lives of people are a little bit better, because believe it or not, we do not know the struggles of everyone else out there. I see that Mayville, good morning to you. Mayville, I hope all is well at your end. Also, I hope that you are having a phenomenal morning. Guys, like I said before, if you have not shared live streams yet, make sure that you start, make sure that you share the live. We have to get into the discussion, and I do not want you to miss anything. But guess what? Let's start from this position. GPL explains major Demerara Borby service disruptions. We are straight into the morning papers, guy. Let us get into this discussion. I want to hear what you have to say about it. I want to hear what you have to say about GPL and all that GPL is doing out there. GPL just does the most and the worst and all of those things all together. So let me know how you feel about GPL and all the explanation that they try to, that they try to bring to Guyanese. Well, I don't know if GPL is on par with Dharmlal and all of those things, but they seem to be not on par. I see this GPL said here that our company remains cognizant of the inconveniences associated with unplanned service disruptions and continues to work towards minimizing these occurrences. GPL is I think one of our Facebook one of my Facebook colleagues actually said it best, and he was saying that he see the government basically going out there. He didn't say government, but all the statements associated with Guyana is circled around right now. Oh, we're having fastest growing economy, highest GDP per capita, and this and that. He said he sees all of those comments out, and he said, but we need to stop using these terminologies. We need to stop associating ourselves with the terminology until we can fix the power issue. And I have to agree with him. Until we can fix the power issue, we can't deal with it. We can't be projecting ourselves as growing at this massive rate and all of that. Power is something that it's fundamental when you talk about development. Access to electricity, constant flow of electricity. And I did tell you guys before that there was one instance in which particularly in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, in which Dubai there was this whole article that was put forward that Dubai had over 20-something years of no power outage. And you understand why countries are at the level in which they are, because their level of planning, it's just different. It's something that we have never experienced before in Guyana. We have to have all hands on deck when it comes to certain things. Consistent power flow. This is something that's absolutely important for everyone. You're at home, particularly industries. You talk about bringing manufacturing on board and all of those things. You can't be pushing certain narratives. You can't have just constant power flow. It's just absolutely crazy. I was having a discussion only yesterday with someone that was talking about basements and how the basements operate when it comes to the water being filled up into the system, and then when it reaches a certain level, it just pushes it out and all of that. But all of that, and I brought the point up that all of that it's dependent on a constant electricity supply to make sure that those systems flow properly. Yeah, well, that can't work here. It cannot work here in Guyana. We have our own bit of struggles, and I know that you guys do not trust anyone right about now at the helm of GPL to actually deliver on reliable electricity. Let's just start from that point. Let us just say that. As if it's is joining us this morning, is saying good morning to everyone. I see watching from Red Hook, Brooklyn. Good morning to you, Andrew. I hope all is well at your end. I see Guyana nowadays says, I feel GPL need Mr. Patterson to lead us, right? From 2015 to 2020, it cannot be disputed that GPL provided the best service you ever got, and that's just a fact. A lot of work, a lot of investment was put into making sure that The company was managed properly, the new equipment was bought, modern systems were put in place to make sure that you had a reliable electricity. Nobody can come and tell you that, oh, well, this and that and that and this because of the coalition. Like I saw Dharamlal was literally put up a post like that. But he's crazy. I don't know how else to put it over, but no one can come and give you any explanation at this point in time as to what is going on with GPL, because you know what is going on at GPL. They took someone that was incompetent and put them back at the helm of GPL, and they're giving you the same bit of incompetent service that we experienced prior. In any part of the world, if somebody fails and fails and fails again at providing effective managerial work when it comes to companies and so forth, they're removed. But in Guyana, under the PP administration, you can fail and fail and fail. Once you are shaking your head to the right things and to the right people and all of those things, you seem to be, they seem to go and they dig you out to the dirt and they bring you back up, from the dead, and they just put you back out there to make sure that you continue to do the nonsense that you were doing all the time. I don't know how else to put it over, guys. I see CAL accused of flying Cubans to Guyana without license, guys. This is a big one. I have to go through this a little bit, guys. And it says in its court filing, we're still on the morning paper, so if you haven't shared this yet, make sure that you share the stream right about now. It says in its court filing in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida on September 24, obtained by Guardian Media, and this is Volando. U.S. corporations is claiming that this country's national carrier breached U.S. Cuban asset control regulation, and that is the CACR. It says under the regulations, foreign airlines are barred from providing air transportation service between Cuba and third countries for Cuban nationals when such services has a nexus to the U.S. It says also here that the regulations only permit such services if it is done through companies which are licensed by the Office of the Foreign Asset Control in the U.S. Department of the Treasury. It says the defendant foreign airlines is on partially violating the CACR and infringing on Volando's property rights conferred by the OFAC, and that is a control department of that is the asset control in the U.S. Department of Treasury there, the OFAC, and it's a specific license by providing air transportation with the U.S. nexus to Cuban nationals between Havana, Cuba, and Georgetown, Guyana. In Guyana, I think that one of the things that we can look at here, if I can say that, one of the things that we can look at here is the fact that people have been coming here, and it's not by accident. People have been passing through here, not by accident. We have had non-precedented amount of persons that have been traveling to Guyana that has been utilizing our airports. I think that this is something that did show up in a bit of reporting that we had early in the year, and it was touted as being this is great for Guyana and all of that. The opposition did say, and I want to remind you of this, the opposition as it did say that you have to check and see how many of those persons that are coming here are actually staying here for business, or if they're just using Guyana as a port. Now this bit of information, I have to say, I'm going to be diving into it a whole lot more. But what we can say at the moment is that we very much need to have a tight grip on who's traveling here, how they're traveling here, and all of those things, because it's not going to be something that we can pick up the pieces of later on. As we move on in the morning papers, guys, I see Guyana earns over 100 billion from the oil in the third quarter of 2022. So the question that I'm going to ask you right about now is, are you feeling it? Are you feeling this over $100 billion from oil in the third quarter of 2022. What are you expecting the government to do particularly? I hope that you are expecting them to actually raise public servants minimum wage, because this is one of the major things that has to be done right now. But Guyana, you know what is going on. PPP administration will come to the National Assembly before the year is out, and I want to hear exactly what they're going to be saying when it comes to the increasing minimum wage. If they are smart, if they are pretending to be smart, they will come to the National Assembly and actually give a significant increase for the public service minimum wage. I did know this morning that I was listening to an economist. I cannot remember the name, but the person was introduced as an economist, I think attached to one of the oil and gas companies, and he was making the comment there. I think it was Big Uncle Gordon. I don't miss those things in the morning. Once I can, I always listen to it. And he was making a point, guys, that Guyana has a whole lot more transparency than a lot of companies and so. So my first thing is somebody sent him out. When it comes to the oil and gas sector, particularly how the resources are being spent that we get from that sector, it's something that we cannot track. We can't track it because the government put it in such a way, the PPP administration put it in such a way that the only thing we know about it rather is that the money is withdrawn from the natural resource fund and it is placed into the consultative fund. We can't track it further than that because there's absolutely no policy in place that says that they have to tell you now what specific projects or so this money will be spent on. This is something that we spoke about at the level of the National Assembly, and I think Clive Fraser said very, very frankly, thief. I don't know how else to say. I see my friend Leon Garbadan is here. What did the APNU did for Guyana and the people of Guyana when they were in government? I'm pretty sure that Leon is not living in Guyana when he makes these comments. I am pretty sure. Leon, where do you live? Leon, let's just drop in the comment section, like, where do you live? Where do you reside? I personally reside in Bartik. I'm just going to segue a little bit. Just allow me a little bit, guys. I live in Bartik, and I have to tell you that when the APNUAFC came into office, Bartik was a community that was completely neglected. There's absolutely nothing there. We had a golden beach by name alone. Nobody was proud to even go there. It was a mess. We had pregnant mothers literally losing their lives because they didn't have any proper service at the hospitals and all of those things. We had a transport and harbor stelling that was falling apart. We have no reliable electricity for the point. Like, I think there was a point in time on the PP administration prior to 2050 that 2 weeks you didn't get in power. Why? Because what the PP administration did was send old engines to Bartica. When they bought new engines for certain parts of the country that they considered their stronghold, they would send that old engine to Bartica. So you all take that bit of garbage here and there. When it comes to roadways and so forth, they neglected to even complete the roadway on the West Coast. That's as crazy as it could be. The coalition went back into office, completed that. Areas in which mothers used to be walking on the dams in Parika Back Dam, never knew that roads could be placed there. They're padding through the mud, literally brand new roads in all of those areas. When it comes to making sure that your kids are safe, particularly when it comes to those highways and so forth, what did they do? They made sure that they had overhead passes and those things put in place. Every single thing that was done to make sure that persons were okay and was better off. And guess what? Every single year there were increases in wages and salary for public service. Even without oil money, there were increases every single year. And guess what? Again, they kept inflation practically at nothing. We practically had no inflation during that 5 years. We were having years in which inflation was at 0.9%. When persons come and they ask these questions, I wonder, I beg the question, do these people read? Do they actually understand? Does Leon live in Guyana? Did Leon literally just get out of some closet that he was in forever and just pop out and just started to ask these questions? The point we're making right now, and I'm going to tie it into my response to Leon as well. The legislation that was passed under the APNU AFC administration when it comes to the oil and gas sector, it was the most transparent legislation you can possibly think of. It was something that was put to the public. The contracts rather were put to the public. The contracts that was signed. When it comes to the act at the level of the National Assembly, the act that was bill that was put into law and thereafter turned into an act at the level of the National Assembly, it gives way for the level of transparency that we cannot even imagine the PPP going down that line with. As it is right now, and I say this with no apologies, as it is right now, the PPP went to the National Assembly December last year when there was a whole big commotion and all of that. And what did they do? They brought back significant parts of the very piece of document, the very bill that the AP and UAFC presented to the National Assembly prior. But you know what they did? They gutted every aspect of accountability, transparency, and oversight. They gutted it. They make sure that they pull it back. And then we had representatives of the PPP literally going on national television, going out there to people and say that, oh, well, if you put over a certain amount of people in a room, they can't come up with, they're not going to get to a final solution and all sorts of nonsense. But what they did, people, is actually take away key aspects of the paper. Those key aspects would be that now that you're reading the headlines that over $100 billion in third quarter of 2022 coming from the oil sector there, under the AP and UAFC administration, it was a requirement that you the people knew and the public knew very, very openly, very transparently, that bit of accountability, exactly what the money was going to be used for. The PPP administration, Leon, came into office and they gutted that aspect of it because they want to make sure that they can do whatever it is. So when you come and you ask, like, what did the AP and UAFC do? We can tell you what they did not do. And what they did not do is take away transparency. What they did not do is take away accountability, good governance, and all of those key aspects when you're talking about democracy. So I don't understand why is it that we have to come back to this conversation back and forth. And I think that's always a go-to piece that people go to. Oh, no, what did you guys do? What did you guys do? But we can talk about what we did. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but I can talk about what we did. We went into areas, had a PPP neglected, that voted for them for years. We went into areas like Region 2, in which mothers and the little children were toppling and all of those things, at the stelling. We fixed that. Those things were fixed under us. People literally went into office and went back to Region 2 and recommissioned things that were commissioned under us just to take shame out of their faces. So we can have this debate. We can do that any day. I can say that. Guys, as we move forward,
Tell them, Charita.
Shari's gonna be like, tell them to but tell them. I can do this all day. We can do this all day. I can start from Region 1 coming right down, but we have to move forward, guys. It says over 200 Region 2 Fisherfolk receive $150,000 one-off cash grant. Over 800 Region 2 Fisherfolk receive $150,000 one-off cash
suspicious
grant.
To me.
I don't have to say it, what's going on here. You already know what's going on here, particularly because the people have been speaking out. I would remind you of the video. The man is saying that he went in there, documentation and everything, showing that he owns his fish boat and all of those things. He's not on the list, but busman and taxi man name showing up on the list. When it comes to the cash grant for the Fisherfolk, it's not going to help. A one-off cash grant of $150,000 is not going to help the Fisherfolk when the Ministry of Foreign Affairs seems to be making a total bloody mess of the entire situation when it comes to them being actually given the right to go out there and have that economic activity flourishing as they did under the AP and UAFC administration. I don't know how else to put that over. The one-off cash grant is not going to fix the issue. You don't just do things like that. You fix the issue. And I'll remind you folks that the most we have right now, the best that we got from the PPP administration right now, is that they hope, right? They're hoping that the talks that they're going to be having is going to have some fruitful bear some fruits in the future. Let me just put it over like that. It's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you this. It's absolutely crazy the way in which things are happening there, but we have to continue to press press forward to make sure that those persons, their actual plight is realized. Because I did say the persons that got, all right, let me just put it over like this: the people that are getting those 800 people, I think they should publish that list, publish those names, make it public. You know, we talk about
Let me see the
transparency.
names.
Transparency, accountability, good governance, and all of those things, right? Publish the names of those 800 folks, because I can tell you that the fisher folks may start to come out. They might start to protest themselves, you know, because they're going to say, no, this man doesn't do fishing. You know, this man is drive taxi. This man is walk bus. This is a conductor here. Because they are the ones that started to make those claims. It's not something that's coming from us. We did not make these claims. It did not come from us. This is coming from the fisher folk themselves. But I want to say that when these folks are receiving, these new batch of persons are receiving this $150,000. At this point in time, the first batch, the $150,000 that they receive, it's long done. It's finished. They don't have any more of that money. So how does it translate to them? Like, how are they surviving with their families? Ministry of Foreign Affairs yet to bring any real resolution towards the issues that they are facing, but that's what it is. But guys, we have to move forward. We have to move forward.
Yep. Switching gears a little bit.
You hear Shara there in the background. He's switching it up.
My mic is hot.
His mic is hot.
We're switching gears a little bit. We just want to remind you folks that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you should get tested, both men and women, especially, I would say, once you touch, we're screening and doing all that is necessary, folks, to make sure there's early detection, if anything, because that is the key, they tell us. While a cure is yet afar off, lots of research is ongoing. They're telling us that early detection is the key. Early detection is the key. Is really the key to what is happening.
Early detection is indeed the key to everything that is happening. I have to agree with that, because you know, when it comes to breast cancer, it's something that I know, Cher, that you have been making a point very, very importantly, that this affects both men and women, and it's a conversation that needs to be had.
We're tracking.
Yeah, definitely need to have this conversation. But what I can say is, a lot of times, particularly in countries like Guyana, lesser developed countries, women don't usually go out and have these tests, these very important tests done, and it's something that we need to get to that state. Also, what I can say is that general checkups is something that I would recommend as well. You know, as soon as you hit a certain age, I think 40 is that marker. Mm-hmm. As soon as you hit a certain age, you have to be doing a lot of general checkup. Just don't take it for granted, people. Like, a lot of times we believe that, oh, we're healthy, strong, we're not feeling any way, and we wait till the very, very last moment to go and check when something is really, really wrong with us and we can't bring it back.
Yep. Early detection, they tell us, folks, and we really want to remind you. Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and they say together we can overcome this dreaded disease, this dreaded sickness, by bringing awareness, by providing necessary funding, whether for research or awareness, and just general community. Celebrate how far we've come, and also celebrate.
Yes, we're celebrating. I saw Dawn Coke had a message for you.
Yeah,
still thinking about.
We're celebrating how far we've come, and we're celebrating those who have overcome.
Yeah.
You know, and perhaps even those who have gone before us. All right, and you know, this is the month, they say, according to John. Thanks for reminding us that, you know, some folks are espousing that sucking a breast can help.
I think Dawn was just asking about that.
Yep.
Sucking a breast.
I'm still on that. Providing help.
I literally read that somewhere.
Providing help where help is necessary.
I did read that somewhere. I did read that somewhere as to the seriousness of it. I don't know. It's like,
correct.
Do you have any medical folks saying this?
Lots of things are brewing, folks, and we want to bring you up to speed with that. Mm-hmm. And internationally, folks, in the morning brew, lots of things we are having for breakfast. We're having some coffee here, some warm coffee. It shouldn't say hot. It's just perfect. What's happening at your end? What are you guys having for breakfast? Leon Goberdan, hope you're good at your end. Marlon Lorimer,
Leon is miserable.
It's usual. I don't
But I
bother
want
now.
Leon to be okay.
Sonia Massey, it's just the state of affairs with Leon every day. Glenford Gordon, Mabel Shorts, and all the other folks. Quite a couple of things are brewing internationally, folks. And we want to start with what's happening in Russia. I know our affiliate website, Credible Source, is reporting this morning that this war has cost about 1.4 million in troops alone, billions of dollars, about 1.4 million in troops alone, boots on the ground, and about 200,000 casualties. And this war is rumbling on. You know, one of our very learned reporters for Credible Sources who follows these issues very intricately, telling us that Russia continues to mobilize both troops and resources, and likewise, the US and other allied countries are providing resources for Ukraine. So this war looks as though there's no end in sight. Russia, of course, they were hoping for a quick walkover. As we see here in the vernacular, they were hoping that Ukraine would have been a walkover. But we think that the Western countries and the rest of the world really and truly are saying, you know, we want y'all take Crimea and we said nothing. But this is where we make our final stand with this kind of nonsense. And so we're following this, guys, on the international stage as well.
200,000 casualty, you know.
If
you think about it in the context of our population here at home in Guyana, you know, the last known number, like they're about 750,000 people. 200. Imagine 200,000 people.
That's like the whole region for guys.
It's like a quarter, like about 26% of our entire
it's about
population being wiped out. You have to understand the gravity of what is going on there.
A lot of people injured, dead, and a lot more will be based on the number of persons that are on the ground there. But that's just some of the stuff, guys, we're following internationally and regionally. Regionally, we won't leave you out. Regionally, this is some of the stuff. One of the stories we're picking up on regionally, and this is right next door to us. You had the first ballot there in Brazil. And none of the contenders, Bolsonaro or Lula da Silva, would have come out with more than 50% of the electorate backing them. And so they're in the second phase now. And they recently had this debate. Again, Lula is the favored candidate to win. And I like Lula for some reason. I don't like Bolsonaro Trumpism kind of disposition.
From a position of policy, I cannot support the Bolsonaro approach. That's the best way I can put it. From position of policy, it doesn't seem to.
I just like Lula, my spirit techie policy approach. My spirit. My spirit is techie. My spirit just techie. And folks, as we come closer to issues happening at home, you know, here's where it gets a little tingish. You know, we're still following this one, guys. This boat mishap yesterday, where some athletes going back from the Heritage Games here in the city, the boat began taking on water and sank. But thankfully, the folks there were rescued in short order. Thankfully, that could have gone sideways very, very quickly.
I just see the video, right? You know, the video that was up there.
Could have gone sideways very, 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 very quickly. Correct. Could have gone sideways very quickly. Yeah, and as you saw there, folks, some other boats nearby came to their rescue very, very quickly. I'm thankful for that because, you know, that's the other pandemic we talk about, what's happening on our waterways, what's happening on our roadways, the sheer carnage.
You know, all right. Yesterday was the 17th, and yesterday was it marked 1 month. Let me put it like that. It marked 1 month since the boating accident that took 2 lives there at Bartica. One of those persons being a very, very close friend of mine. And when I saw that yesterday, you know, you were thinking that we're not getting any better. There's no system that is being put in place to actually better it. Who is actually inspecting these boats to make sure that they're going on to the waterways, that they don't have issues and all of those things? It's not just a properly serviced and equipped boat just don't sink just like that.
That's what they're telling us. Right? Marad is coming up short.
Marad is like, I think so. I don't want to be petty about the matter, but I think that there's a lot lacking at Marad when it comes to, particularly, and this is not me speaking about Marad or the head office and those main body, those main units, but when you see it comes to those individuals that are put to operate at the regional levels,
tell us.
I think they need to get a shake up, if I can put it like that. They need to get a shake up. In many cases, Sherrod, they can't pull up persons and do all of those things because they are part of a system also, they seem to be part of the system also. So we have to look at it. We have to see why is it that these boats are operating if they are not fit to operate.
Yeah, I know yesterday when we saw that happen, folks were contacting us and saying one of the problems is Marad. Marad is not inspecting these boats, are not giving the oversight as they should.
When it comes to the speedboat and transportation service, a lot of the Marad offices themselves are putting boats in the system. And I'm not saying this.
So operators and regulators.
This is not good. It's not guesswork. This is not guesswork. I'm telling you facts right now.
The government
right? This is not guesswork for me. And this is, I try my best not to get into the boating. The boat. I'll get angry. I tell you this. I'll get angry because a lot of lives were lost prior, and a lot of lives are still being lost when it comes to what is going on there.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. The other thing is brewing, folks. There is a boat building company that wants to get into housing. It says for its staff and so on. And this is the Dutch FPSO builder. They want to develop a gated community. They want to live wrong by y'all. People want the staff, but this is how it could start. It's the staff, and the next thing they're selling out to private interests and so on. But it's just boat builder. So they want to build a gated community. They want to live close to B. They want to live close to Adil Beckles, Jacqueline Fordyce. They want to live next to Don Sullivan. People say they want to live by themselves in quiet shoot. Gated, high gates, tall fences. Yeah, there's a poem by William Blake says, good fences, big good neighbors. And people want to live wrong by way. Yeah. They want their own community. But it's amazing how we could find land for a lot of people and so on. But we want people, a lot of foreigners, but we want people. Lord have mercy.
This is where you test good governance and leadership. This is where the test come in of good governance and leadership, because you don't allow the country to go to a state in which you're making tenants of your citizens, and that's what's going on right now. Like I told you guys, if you are to get a flight right now to go anywhere, particularly to North America, if you're to get a flight to go, you understand who is passing through the country, and I can tell you that when they pass through, they come in, they collect, and they leave with resources, wealth, and this is something that we need to make sure that we get a grip on very early. I see companies, and this is why I have issues with one of the things that we did talk about is when the Trinidadian company, later identified as the one that has been here for some time, actually going into managing the taxi at the Marriott. And I said, that's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. Stay your lane. Allow Guyanese to go into those sectors.
Let Guyanese eat the bread.
Exactly. Allow Guyanese to live. I am 100% sure that we have Guyanese, even if you don't have the resources per se, that you can be that they're Guyanese with the will, the managerial capacity, and all of those things, that government could put policy measures in place that will allow them to actually get the resources to expand when it comes to those business ventures. I see too many foreign companies, and I've been noting the ones that is trying to infiltrate, particularly when it comes to the housing market. I have been looking at real estate and housing and all of those things, and I'm not going to be putting it down, because Guyanese needs to be able to get a bit of that, a piece of that pie. You don't just go and take the pie and throw it in front of foreigners and let them just have the best slices. And whatever left back you come to Guyana with. That's not going to work. It's just not working like that.
Guyanese got to eat the bread. Guyanese people
I encourage
gotta eat
investment.
their
I
bread too.
encourage investment, but Guyanese must be the priority when it comes to those things.
Correct,
Guyanese.
correct. Folks, we're so privileged that so many of you are joining our program this morning. Hundreds of you we can see from our end. But do us the biggest favor. I know some of y'all get captivated, y'all go a little immobile, but share the live. It's like right next door to your hand down there. You could just slip across and share back to your profile, share back to your pages, the groups that you inhabit as well on social media. Do us the biggest favor. Let us spread valid and credible information. Smash that emoji button too. More than 78 of y'all are like, boy, y'all just wake up vexed. You don't want to touch something on the phone, and so I just want locked and loaded.
Did you say
And be
more
happy
than
about that.
78?
Yeah,
Where you
78.
got a 78
I'm
from?
saying emojis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more than that viewing. That's the point I wanted to make. So smash that emoji button for us, folks. Let me go down the road, man. Let
Come
me go down.
on. Come on.
Smash it for us. Good to have each and every one of you here, folks. You want to keep tracking some of the things we're following locally, and one of the things brewing, folks, it's this story that we're following. The Cancer Foundation. They recently came out of that issue with the fake doctor and so on. Happy they're overcoming that. They're lobbying the government for low-cost radiation treatment centers to assist patients. Now, this is strange because the coalition government was doing this for the Dubai Center, right? Subsidizing the cost. Now, the government came, they closed quite a few of them, right? And the folks in Berbice were complaining, the folks in Linden were complaining that as against the centers they had there, they now had to travel to Georgetown. Now, I see Bibi Hassan has to come out and ask the government to provide some low-cost radiation. We can do this, folks. We can do this. You see, one of the problems with this government, it believes it possesses all the answers. You can't tell them nothing. Right? And in that case, to break down anything the coalition was doing, they just bypassed and they broke down some very good programs. Judah, as a little segue, one of the greatest distance runners who I admire a lot, Eliud Kipchoge, says part of his success in running a marathon, 26 miles, under 2 hours, he says that 1% of the 1%, 100% of him is 1% of the team. You understand what teamwork can do together. That's the point I want to make. In this country, we can move this country forward. That's why last evening on one of our program, in our affiliate program in the ring, we were quoting an international oil expert who said, "You will never be the next Dubai unless you do these couple of things.
Yeah.
You got to get the expertise. You got to get teamwork, and together, Dubai brings together the people who got the knowledge, the expertise, get the buy-in from the public, and move forward. These guys here, they come to tell you, we're doing this, we're doing that. We don't care what you say." That's why you see protests by the EPA. That's why you see protests by Monishwars. That's why you see protests at all these various places. That's why you see people voicing dissension on Facebook. The government they don't aim for no buy-in. They say they put in a waste facility here, some chemical facility there, and they're concerned residential community or not, right? But together, issues like this, we got the money now. How can we provide better care for cancer patients, patients with heart disease, sickle cell, what have you? Together, how are we going to move this thing forward? Frank Anthony Doe is not the repository of our knowledge, neither is Vindhya Prasad, even though they're health professionals, even though they're doctors. They have their limitations because they come up in a country that has limitations and they are jaundiced by that. That's the blind spot. You got to go far. Go to the people in the forest who understand the thing. And then you can tell us how we can move it forward, how we can do it, but we got to do it together. This thing, we know best. It can't work in this day and age. It cannot work. When we had perhaps a small economy and we barely get it by, perhaps, but now we got money, more than you could spend, more than you can imagine how to spend. It's not only about thieving it out, but it got to come back to impact the citizens. So I hope the government listens and gives to the Cancer Society what is due and help us. And not only the cancer patients, the number of patients suffering in this country, and generally we need to uplift the healthcare. We were there. We saw the COIs where you had ministers of government, associates, and so on, who got millions of dollars in medical aid. Basically free, taxpayers' money. There was one foreign minister, his cancer treatment was over $100 million, and government forked it out. Government forked it out. You understand? And then they see some people got some real complications. Come say, oh, we could only give $1 million. Yeah, dollars, and you got a 10 million US problem. Right? I understand. Everybody must get a piece of the pie. But when you can do for your own $100 million dollars, sadly that person succumbed subsequently. But there's so many instances. We talk jokingly of Sukai's dental work. 3 point something million. That was taxpayers' money. Right? They spend heftily on themselves, friends, family, and favorites.
I still can't figure out what was wrong.
And Baby Hassan got to be out here begging.
When it comes to Baby Hassan, I have to say that I fully support what Baby Hassan is asking for. They're the Cancer Foundation. I am 100% in support of it. I think that is the right way to go. You do not have resources. Yep. You do not project the country. You do not boast about the amount of resources that you have on the economic growth and all of those things. If you are not putting policies in place that actually benefits the most vulnerable in society, the most vulnerable in society is always the people that don't have the financial power to actually do what they need to get done for themselves. And better is a candidate for aid when it comes to you being sick. You don't wish a sickness and ailment on yourself. You don't go about and do something that's wrong in order for you to get cancer. So, Baby Hassan, I have to say that I have full support about this. I think the government, they should not even get to the point she has to ask for this publicly.
When you would see Cancer Society getting a real such a thing, one of them got go and sit down, but they won't go there at the cancer
go
center.
Overseas. They go overseas. Yep.
Right? They go among Sinai and so on. But there's another issue that's brewing, folks, and we're following. We've been telling you about this. We CARICOM there on Haiti. Well, them bites me
CARICOM like the horror.
Imagine U.S. gun flying armored vehicle, they showed sanctions on those gangs in Haiti, do a number of things, providing aid, providing finances, providing resources. To combat what's happening down there, the ground in Haiti. There's almost a civil war happening. CARICOM now meeting to discuss crisis. Yeah, you could dead, bury, burn, and gun.
I would love to
hear dead, burn, bury, scatter, and all that.
I would love to hear Irfan Ali's comment when it comes to
same Haitians that they turn back.
I would love to
same Haitians that they thrown away. That the Chief Justice told them they were unconstitutional too in doing. Thanks to Darren Wade fighting that case on behalf of the Haitian brothers and sisters. Right? Thanks to Darren Wade. Right?
Yep.
So and that we can circle back to the hypocrisy.
No, I want to hear
because they're very hypocritical. Well, they met yesterday. Finally, I guess better late than never. Right? We didn't get too much of what's going to be one of the outcomes of that meeting. I don't know.
I want to hear Guyana's position. Right? I'm not gonna be satisfied
but that's one
until I hear it. Until I hear what.
You want to hear measures? What y'all can do?
I want to hear what Irfan is.
What's intervention? Here's the time now. You could get big brothers and sisters from CARICOM going down there and sit up with them gangs and government and say, "What they hate?" But you know what? We've lost those statements. And when I said now, when I told y'all it's cliques and cabals in CARICOM, some of them get vexed. I get letters in the press. The usual suspects, practical and so on. Them boys write me up, I cussed down CARICOM leaders. Well,
oh wow.
Take down your chest now. Late appearance. I hear no measures. What they can do? We can send a little rice, we can send a little flour, we send in some guns, help the government of Haiti. What are we doing? No, we can talk.
What Guyana did do when it comes to CARICOM is that we had citizens of Haiti, particularly Haiti, we had citizens of Haiti under the most inhumane conditions here. Yeah. I remember when Darren Wade went and he inspected the conditions which those persons were under. The tears came to his eyes because of a grandmother, in horrible conditions. And that's what we did as a country. Yeah. That's what we did. So I'm very interested to hear what
But our Venezuelans, brothers and sisters, have to say. No, we must get them jobs and so on. No offense to them. I drove down Regent Street recently and I saw the changing complexion of Regent Street. It's the Venezuelan, the Chinese rivalry.
It's not creeping up, and it's not creeping up upon us. This
It is upon
This
us.
soft invasion is not creeping
No,
up.
no,
It's
no,
here. It's here. You go
no,
out, you will see. You
no.
will
Candy
see.
says it best. Old scraps. If you're black, stay back. You're brown, stick around. White, you married last night.
Sure, I don't know where
you
you
know,
from.
we welcome our and rightly so. We welcome our Venezuelan brothers and sisters.
Good. The
They're in
point
need.
is who you
You know,
are. Who are you? Who the persons that you are not welcoming?
yeah, that's
Those
the problem we
persons.
got. If you're black, stay back.
I don't get it. I
You
don't get
know.
it.
But this morning, for the big issue, folks, as we hasten on, for the big issue, there's some brewing it there right here. We're talking about protected abusers. We had a segue, we had a foray into this yesterday morning. When we talk about hypocrite, Irfan Aliyev and Priya Manik Chan and Vindhya Prasad and Onij Wat, hypocrites, generation of hypocrites. That's what they are, protected abusers. And one of the things we covered while we're talking about protected abusers is this story we were following. And we were learning in the papers this morning. We were a little ahead of this, that Varsha Barat reported the assault by R.C. Rogers. She reported it to the police. Well, the people fly him out. And he was on stage hosting a Diwali event in Queens, New York. That's how they do it. You understand me? You could beat up your wife last night and you're going to do your government work tomorrow. You turn up as a minister, you do your work as normal. You beat up your wife and you abuse your children. And life goes on. Hypocrites! This is what? This is more than 72 hours later. Right? There's more than that. Not a word from any PPP official. That's one of the things we're following this morning.
Yeah, I was made to understand that he is expected to give a statement on the matter, and I am anxiously awaiting the statement. I want to see what he has to say. I want to see what he says.
But interesting, love, he's giving it on his program.
Yeah. I want a statement.
Bordness dash you off your page and say you can't broadcast from us because your behavior is reprehensible. Oh, but them other vagabonds, not a word out to them.
Yeah. And I want to see the women who goes and continues to support.
Not a word out to them. Yeah. And while
sometimes as women, we are our own worst enemies.
Drita, this is important for a lot of reasons, as you know, and as you champion. This is a scourge in our society. We talk about that pandemic, that other pandemic, what's happening on our waterways, what's happening on our roadways. This is the other one, right? This is the plagues and the PPP upon us. The way domestic violence and violence against women is treated so flippantly.
Another day.
Right? So cavaliers. Another day. The Ghana police force allowed Mr. Rogers to leave the country, even though he was being investigated and is being investigated. Because the PPP gave them instructions. Don't touch it. We fly me out. Right. Same way they fly out Charandas. Same way. But this is important because every day, Jarita, we see domestic violence and its effect on our country. And one of the other stories we're tracking this morning is this one. Annalisa Gonzalez, we've been tracking this for a number of weeks. From the time she was birthed to the revelations later on, where we learned that, according to her, as we'll hear her final words this morning, her in-laws, Father have his mercies, instructed her to tell the authorities, anybody who asks, it's not we son Bonio. You'll make him porridge? It's Bonio. The story is even more grave when I listen to it. Father have his mercies. And you'll understand why we behave the way we behave by saying Irfan them is hypocrites, because we need to send such a strong signal to society that violence against women in any form, domestic violence, violence in the National Assembly, dildo, or Kwame will not be tolerated, right? Annalisa's story is a story of so many people. Some might be listening to us this morning, and in similar instances. Annalisa met her end in a way nobody should. Nobody should. What irks me is that here is this young woman, barely 22, I think, Annalisa, Annalie Gonzalez, and you in a family that tolerating the son beating you.
20 years old, sir.
Right? And you and everybody there. And that's a norm. Oh, some of y'all wicked. And the PPP condones this by their own inaction. Because Irfan Ali knew what transpired with their own abusers. Right? Kwame McCoy, Nigel Darmlal, and the others. And now you got Rogers over the weekend. None of them have said anything, not a word on social media. No, so Priya Manichan, I was on Facebook. She in a government work. Right? Like she in retirement. She find the work. Right? A young lady in social on TikTok puts it a different way. A different F, but she find the work. Right? And none of them have commented on what has transpired with Rogers. Right? And that gives leeway to men like the abuser Annalie Gonzalez had in her life. Her end was more tragic. Was more tragic than Varsha Bharat. Here's Annalie Gonzalez in her own words. Brace it over, folks. Brace it over. Here is Annalie in her final words. In her final words. Brace it over. I'm begging you, brace it over.
This is Annalie Gonzalez, and I'm giving a statement against my husband Ajay Prasad, People's Kali Nicholas. On the 23rd of August, we had an argument concerning the boxers. He didn't want to go on the road, and the boxers that he went, it didn't dry, it wet, and he started cussing up and throwing down things in the room, and I had enough work to do. I had to look after my baby, I had to make dinner, I had to drop my net in, so I get angry. And I take the cologne bottle and the cream and so I start throwing them through the window. And the heights are throwing them through the window. I make the board cage fall down. So when the board cage fall down, he start cussing up that if me know how much the board worth, that nothing in the room is worth it more than the board. And he go look for the cutlass, but he didn't find it. And then he come back and he opened the mentholated bottle. I went in the bed with my 1 month baby. She did lie down a little part away from me and I did sit down. He opened the mentholated bottle and he threw it on me. When he started throwing it on me, I started stifling and I turned over and lie down on my belly. And before I could have turned around back, the sparky lighter, and I know if it's a lighter, a match or what, but I assume it's a lighter because we don't really use match. He sparked the light on me from behind. When he sparked the light, I rolled off the bed because my baby went on the bed. I didn't want she get born. And the fire started catching. And he threw a sheet on me. When he threw the sheet, the fire didn't out. And he pulled me up. Before he could have pulled me up, the top they already burned. The meat top that I had on, they already burned off. And I tried pulling off my pants. While I pulling off the pants, he yelled for Ashley. When his sister and I went home. Only she went home with me, she did cooking. When he shouted for Ashley, Ashley ran in the room and she scrambled the baby. And he got and he shouted for his mother from the veranda. She went to the street, not far, and we live in the street. And when he shouted for his mother, she come in. When she come in now, she carry me at the hospital. When she carry me at the hospital, she tell me that lad don't tag the truth that Nicholas born me. I said that I the boiling porridge and the stove blow up and the porridge born me. When we go to the hospital now, he get admitted at best and I get transferred to Georgetown. When I get transferred, the ambulance bring me little after the mother come. She didn't inform my parents about nothing. She tell the doctor them she is my mother. The next day, one of her friend come and visit me, a lady named Sabrina. When Sabrina come, he call on Auntie Sabrina phone to talk to me. And he tell me that if I talk the truth, he gonna kill himself and kill me two children them. That's why I never give the correct statement what happened. I was waiting for go home and get my children them and then talk what you do to me. But after the pain started getting overbearing, I give a statement. And now I feel like giving up, the pain just getting more worse and worse. Somebody got to do something about it. Somebody got to do something about it. And I want my children them when I go home. I want my children them. I want my mother to get control over my children them.
Yep. Twitter.
Where to start?
Yeah. It's a lot there. It's a lot. A whole family, don't tell the authorities what really happened. And a man who was supposed to be protecting her, lit her on fire for boxer pants, a shorts, and a board. What she says is so painful. A 1 month old is in that bedroom, in her own words, and she's there. And he looked around, he said, nothing in this bedroom, what more than this board? And he poured methylated on her and lit her on fire. Right? Protected abusers. The mother said, don't tell them what happened. And I can't help but think, Ozzy Rogers and the people who flew him out the country after beating up a young lady in a supermarket, protecting abusers, and the ministers of this government and high officials who have said nothing, protecting abusers. And we see it over and over, whether it's Kwame McCoy in the National Assembly, it's Niger Damlal, the National Assembly, from the highest court in the country, to the smallest village, protecting abusers. And this pandemic continues. Listen to Annalie in her chilling words recount what transpired, and they got some other side of the story too.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot, but I want to look at it from a different angle, if I could go down to that, because we have situations of abuse and we've been talking about it for quite some time, but then there's another aspect to this particular story that I want to talk about as well, and that is the fact that this young lady was actually in the hospital for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the hospital for 2 months, and based on what I read in the report, I don't know if another report is going to come out saying something different, but based on what I read in the reports, she died at the West End Hospital. That's how I read it, and there is nothing.
What was the postmortem saying?
Well, based on the reports again that I'm seeing, that the postmortem is saying that she died of sepsis, basically.
Google, what's sepsis?
The hospital, the Minister of Health, needs to answer a lot of questions as to how she died.
They don't answer no questions.
In the hospital from
you try to get a minister to answer a question, you might more shout than you.
After being hospitalized for 2 months. And why is it that a critical case was not transferred to GPHC?
Wow.
Why is it a critical case was not transferred to GPHC? I know that the emphasis right now is on the beast of a man that she lives with, and the fact that his mother raised the beast
and protected the beast, much the same way this administration,
right? And
raising their own beasts and protecting them.
And that the friend that went to the hospital and watched that young lady in that state actually took the phone and gave her to transfer a message from that beast to her when she was in her most critical stage. You know, I believe that there is justice in this world, even if it doesn't come through the structures and the systems set up by us. I believe that there is a higher power that makes sure that people get what they deserve. Because it is unconscionable for me to believe that something as beastly as this can go down, the mother, the friend, him, and that nothing will go answered. You know?
And there's a juxtaposition to that with Ozzy Rogers. People are going to call Varsha Bharat and say, man, look, don't think, man. Look, take a piece of house, take a piece of land, right? Take a house, right? Take a little money, right? Nothing in common. This man don't live here anyhow. He ain't coming back here. Same way. That young lady family said, don't say nothing.
You know,
same way.
But the thing, you know, one of the worst part of it, I think, was when she said that his mother went to the hospital and pretended to be her mother.
Yes.
Just so that her family doesn't know she's in the hospital.
Folks, let's take, Georgia, could we circle back to that?
Maybe
it went by too fast. Maybe some folks are now joining us. Take another listen to Annalie Gonzalez in her own words, recounting what happened and how ultimately she met her demise. You know, when she said, you know, when I go back home, you know, I want my mother to take control of the kids. I'm thinking, which home she's talking about? You know, the heavenly home, the home, you know. When I go back home, I want my mother to take control of the kids. You know, some parents wicked, you know. That's not the first time that happened in the house, you know. And they've condoned that fella's behavior.
You know,
that's not the first time.
As a man, you know, this woman have a 1-month-old baby, and it's like, I don't know if there isn't enough education out there, but he seems to be uneducated on every level. But I don't know if there is enough education out there for men, particularly, you know, you have boys, people that raise boy children growing up. When you sit them down and tell them that, and when a woman goes through child's birth, from the whole process of pregnancy that leads up to that the changes that goes through in her body, physically, mentally, emotionally. When a woman gives birth,
there's that, Rita, and then there's the trauma of the physical health care system in the country. You got your internal challenges that you go through mentally, physically, psychologically as a woman, and then we got to engage the health system, right? In this country, that's another trauma.
This woman lying on her bed with a 1-month-old baby.
The fella look around the bedroom. He said, "You knocked down my bird? Nothing in this bedroom. What? Nothing in the bedroom. You got 1 month old and
I
wife.
want us to just go back to the days. You just put them in public.
Nothing in the bedroom.
Just stone them. I don't.
Nothing
know
in this
what
bedroom.
else
The
I
fella
can
said to
comprehend at this time.
That's a 1-month-old.
Like, I don't even know why we even.
And a beauty like that. He said nothing in this. What more than the board? You know. Oh, I want the judiciary help you out when he passed through.
And then we have Romana, like in his most arrogant.
Help you out, because he's one of them.
Coming right now.
He's one of them too.
A matter as serious as
he's
this,
one of them.
And that's the
he is one of them. That is why you will get that.
This morning.
Right? He either protects abuser or he's an abuser himself. Take another listen to Annalie in her own words.
This is Annalie Gonzalez, and I'm giving a statement against my husband Ajay Prasad, People's Kali Nicholas. On the 23rd of August, we had an argument concerning the boxers. He didn't want to go on the road, and the boxers that he went, it didn't dry, it wet, and he started cussing up and throwing down things in the room, and I had enough work to do. I had to look after my baby, I had to make dinner. I had to drop my net in, so I get angry. And I take the cologne bottle and the cream and so I start throwing them through the window. And the heights are throwing them through the window. I make the board cage fall down. So when the board cage fall down, he start cussing up that if me know how much the board worth, that nothing in the room is worth it more than the board. And he go look for the cutlass, but he didn't find it. And then he come back and he opened the mentholated bottle. I went in the bed with my 1 month baby. She did lie down a little part away from me and I just sit down. He opened the mentholated bottle and he threw it on me. When he started throwing it on me, I started stifling. I turn over and lie down on my belly. And before I could have turned around back, the sparky lighter, and I know if it's a lighter, a match or what, but I assume it's a lighter because we don't really use match. He sparked the light on me from behind. When he sparked the light, I rolled off the bed because my baby went on the bed. I didn't want she to get born. And the fire started catching. And he threw a sheet on me. When he threw the sheet, the fire didn't out. And he pulled me up. Before he could have pulled me up, the top they already burned. The meat top that I had on, they already burned off. And I tried pulling off my pants. While I pulling off the pants, he yelled for Ashley. When his sister and I went home. Only she went home with me, she the cooking. When he shouted for Ashley, Ashley ran in the room and she scrambled the baby. And he got and he shouted for his mother from the veranda. She went to the street, head not far and we live in the street. And when he shouted for his mother, she come in. When she come in now, she carry me at the hospital. When she carry me at the hospital, she tell me that lad don't tag the truth that Nicholas born me. I said that I the boiling porridge and the stove blow up and the porridge born me. When we go to the hospital now, he get admitted at best and I get transferred to Georgetown. When I get transferred, the ambulance bring me little after the mother come. She didn't inform my parents about nothing. She tell the doctor them she is my mother. The next day, one of her friend come and visit me, a lady named Sabrina. When Sabrina come, he call on Auntie Sabrina phone to talk to me. And he tell me that if I talk the truth, he gonna kill himself and kill me 2 children them. That's why I never give the correct statement what happened. I was waiting for go home and get my children them and then talk what you do to me. But after the pain started getting overbearing, I give a statement. And now I feel like giving up, the pain just getting more worse and worse. Somebody got to do something about it. Somebody got to do something about it. And I want my children them when I go home. I want my children them. I want my mother to get control over my children them.
Annalie Gonzalez, final words. She met her demise at the hospital in Region 3, West Denver Hospital, died of sepsis over the weekend after spending 2 months at that institution.
At the hospital?
Yeah.
She spent 2 months at the hospital, not the GPHC.
Yeah.
A critical case like that did not spend 2 months at GPHC. She did not die. According to the reports that I am reading, I'm willing to pull it up.
Yeah.
She died at the West Dem Hospital.
Yeah.
There's no explanation for that. Ministry of Health need to come to the statement and don't think that they can hide because of the beastly actions of the man. They can say, oh, well, let it go like that. The Ministry of Health needs to answer for why is it that this 20-year-old died of sepsis. Oh my goodness, I don't ever get this word right, Chef, but it's not a time for that. It is absolutely crazy. Sepsis is something that you can say that, oh, this person wasn't being treated for and all of those things. This girl was in hospital for 2 months. 2 months. how is it that she died without being transferred to GPHC? That doesn't make sense. Let me tell you who failed her. Let me tell you the failure were happening. I'm going to wrap up on this point. The neighborhood, her neighbors that knew of the abuse, knew of how abusive he was and all of those things, that read in the newspaper and all of those things about her being burned by porridge when everybody know. The woman that went and gave the cell phone to her to put that energy within her at the hospital to let him transfer the fear into her that he's been doing.
So she can go back to an abusive
the
relationship.
Mother, his mother that raised him to be a beast, the mother probably, and then, I listen to it and I say, you know what, probably the mother probably, her husband probably used to beat her too, and he grew up seeing, that's this life. The man just beat the woman and all of those things. But you know what angers me is the fact that she's 20 years old. She has 2 children. She's on like a 1 month old being her second child. 20 years old, 2 children. And guess what? She did not choose to stay in a life of abuse. We have many cases in which, people give advice, come out. At 20 years old, you're just coming out of being a child yourself. And in that abusive situation, when she spoke, you can hear the consciousness in her voice. The very fact that she was reacting towards the turmoil that he was putting her through, said that she had this fighting spirit, and there was no society and there was no system that was set up that would give her aid to make sure that she didn't lose her life like that. And the big traumatic failure comes at the end of it when she's in the hospital that is supposed to be giving her care. And after 2 months of being hospitalized, I'm not going to get off of this. And this is not something nobody should just leave to let go just like that. After 2 months of being hospitalized in the hospital, she was not transferred to GPHC. Right? An emergency case at that level was not dealt with at the level of and that is how I am seeing it in the report. So I'm saying that Frank Comet can give a different statement if it's different.
And all Leon Gobelin has is that APNU failed in office, and so with
but that's when Leon and Roman and all of them, I categorize them as total waste. Right? And I am so listen, people know me every morning. I come on here and I give credit where due and I encourage conversation and all of that. But you do not come on at a point like this, at such a critical discussion, and you come in with a BS conversation. It just shows that you are a total waste, and you should just bury your head in the sand somewhere else. We have situations at play right now, and I can say that maybe there are many of you that join the program that know of somebody that is being abused. Many of you may have abused yourself. Abuse doesn't start physically. Someone don't get up in the morning and just throw some mentholated on you and light your fire. It doesn't start there. It starts with the words. Oh, you're no good. You don't understand what you're doing. You're stupid. You're this, you're that. It starts with a little word to make you lose every sense of self-worth and value. And then it goes to, the emotional turmoil. Something hurt you, brush it aside, and do something to hurt you, to see you in pain, to see you cry, to see all of those things. And then it gets to a little push here, and then it gets to a tap behind your head there. And then that's how it builds up to what it is there.
And that's it.
Identify the red flags. Parents, stop protecting abusers. If you raise an abuser, admit your failure as a parent. Let the court deal with them. If you raise an abuser, let the court deal with them, because God knows if for somebody else's child, he might not have been alive today. He might not have been alive today if it was somebody else's child. Right? You do not protect abuser. Society, every time you hear a man beating his wife and you're a neighbor and you just sit at home and say, oh, when you want to get a man or woman story, you are condoning, you are aiding in the situation. We have a really, really sickening thing to deal with. And I have no faith in PP administration because they have shown that they protect abusers. I have no faith in them. I have to call on the organizations, the women-led organization, women's rights organization, to step forward in this particular regard. Do not let it slide that this girl was hospitalized for 2 months. Let the Minister of Health answer questions and may the court, at the very minimum,
deliver justice.
Deliver justice.
Yeah. That's our time, folks. And that's our program. Have a great day. We'll see you back at 12 below the belt, and then we'll see you again at 8 in the ring. That's our time. That's our program. Stay safe out there.